Known mostly as a sequel factory for existing franchises, Obsidian would finally get a chance to put their own intellectual property out there with 2010's Alpha Protocol. It would really highlight both the strengths and weaknesses of Obsidian's RPG slate. It's got breathtaking scope for flexibility, customization, and a unique setting which hadn't been attempted to this point. But it's also a technical nightmare that threatens to completely fray at the seams. And yet, the positives just manage to salvage the negatives, making Alpha Protocol an interesting diversion, if one which does require patience and a willingness to overlook a rough presentation. Michael Thornton awakes reeling from the effects of being drugged. After seemingly escaping his captors, Thornton is eventually introduced to Alpha Protocol, a US agency which is clandestine in nature but has resources to achieve covert ops. His initial assignment sees him tracking down a terrorist group's leader who purportedly stole missiles from an American defense contractor. But things quickly go south, as Thornton discovers a layered, fragmented conspiracy which sees him question his own country and their motivations. He embarks on a globe-trotting adventure which can see his story play out like a Bourne, Bond, or 24 film, depending on player choice. While it's a shame you can't fully create a unique character, there's so many customization options that this is moot. You begin by picking one of several classes, each favouring different strategies. The soldier will earn a boost to guns, while the field agent is more adept at sneaking. You unlock further specialisations after the initial mission, allowing you to further mould Thornton into your choice of agent. There are even two special classes, the Recruit and the Veteran. The Recruit hampers your skills, adding a level or challenge to the proceedings, while the Veteran class, unlocked after completing the Recruit, lets you start with a boon to stats. It's a robust, deep system which really lets you channel your inner spy, whether you turn Thornton into Jason Bourne, James Bond, or Jack Bauer. It's great. There's also a ton of malleability to missions. Dialogue options are divided into three categories: suave, aggressive, or professional. Characters you meet throughout the game, some of which will serve as handlers on your mission, will react differently to how you talk to them. This can alter the course of the game dramatically, as you may find yourself on the receiving end of a nasty surprise, courtesy of a character who dislikes you. Key choices also appear, whether it concerns killing or sparing a target, taking an alternate approach to the mission, or a branching path which could lead into a unique story climax. There's oodles of replay value here, as you may swerve past certain story threads altogether due to the choices you make. There's excellent freedom here. Once you actually get your boots on the ground, the gameplay is decent if flawed. Before each mission, Thornton can come prepared by equipping weapons and armour, as well as gadgets which can get you out of a situation. Patrolling guards and alarms encourage a stealthy approach, but the AI can struggle to keep up. When push comes to shove, gunplay becomes a factor, and it's a bit odd. The cover system is fine, but aiming can feel spotty, which is compounded by shots being affected by a random number generator system. Shots perfectly aimed can miss as a result. The worst part of Alpha Protocol can be the boss fights, armoured and tough foes which require brute force and no alternatives. It's a shame because for those specialising in stealth, these become unnecessarily hard if you fail to prepare. So it's a mixed bag. The other shame is the lack of polish which permeates the game. The visuals are underwhelming, with a stuttering frame rate, texture popping, and a lack of detail in most aspects. The environments, characters, and animations all feel undercooked. And there's bugs galore, much like Fallout New Vegas, which can cause faces to flicker in and out, for just one example. The sound, on the other hand, fares better. The dialogue is well written enough to keep up with the malleability of discussions. The music is well crafted and has some nice odes to classic action movies, and the sound effects pack a decent punch, be it the potent gunfire, vicious close quarters combat, or the loud explosions. But again, bugs can undermine the game, with audio cutting out entirely at certain points. Alpha Protocol is a mixed bag, but one which has a net positive overall. Despite threatening to collapse under bugs and a lackluster presentation, the sheer flexibility and dozens of choices offered really allow you to carve your own experience, as well as offer incentive to dive in again under a new guise. The gameplay is serviceable, despite some issues in that department, but the creativity and customization help Obsidian's RPG stay afloat. If you have a low tolerance for technical mishaps, this is probably one to avoid, but those looking for a deep and satisfying RPG, one which is unlike any other, should give this a go.
If anyone is to blame for these events, Mr. Thornton, it is you.